You are listening to the Fever Report with John Robertson and Michelle Garmon every Sunday on the Central Indiana Sports Report. Quick warning, if you have sensitive ears or a child with you, there is some adult language and some adult subject matter in this podcast. You've been warned. Welcome, Fever fans, to the Central Indiana Sports Report with John Robertson and Michelle Garmon. I hope this isn't the last Fever Report with John Robertson, because I got a very concerning text earlier this week that John's done with the WNBA. So, John, I hope this isn't it for you.
I'm better today, and I think we'll talk about all of the things that led up to. I was very frustrated yesterday. Stephanie White's little opening talk. We'll get to it. I think to really discuss all of this, we have to go in order of the timeline. But yesterday I was very frustrated. Today I'm feeling much better. Caitlin is a master at media, so well done her. But yeah, it's been a week of no games, but lots of nonsense.
You're right. It has a lot of controversy and stuff, which unfortunately, because the WNBA does not have strong, good leadership, they are a chaos, controversial league, and I don't see that necessarily changing until the leadership changes.
Can I just say that I did have, it made my life happier when I watched Kathy get booed giving out the trophy at the Commissioner's Cup game. That was
nice.
Spectacular. That was the highlight of the week, in my opinion. I don't know about you guys, but watching Kathy get booed so hard, the players didn't know how to react while on the floor.
No question.
Was great.
No question.
So here's what I'm thinking, guys. I want to kind of talk through the few events. I think there's three major events that need to be discussed in order. And I don't want to spend a huge amount of time discussing them, but I think they need to at least be addressed. Why it led to my frustration, why Caitlin is absolutely amazing, and then we can get into all-star stuff. So hope you guys cool with all that for the plan. Okay. So let's talk about, and it's sad that we're still talking about it, and I think that Caitlin will talk about, she kind of said the same thing. The game that happened was over a week ago when Alyssa Thomas had the brutal flagrant on Caitlin. We've already discussed that ad nauseum. I don't really need to discuss the foul itself again. But since then, we've had Alyssa Thomas come out. And this is the thing that drives me nuts. It's the playing the victim when you're the one that did the thing wrong. I can't stand that. It's like, I was trying to think of how to describe this earlier. I was getting ready. I had been at the gym. I was worked out. I was getting changed for, just hanging out and doing the podcast. I'm like, how do I talk about this? Because I'm not going to say that a female player is a bitch. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to call a woman a bitch. Right?
Why not?
I don't like to call women a bitch.
I'm just kidding, John.
I'm just I want to get that out of the way. But if I were talking to another dude, if Alyssa Thomas was a dude, acting the same way that she's acting, I would call that very bitch-like behavior, where you start the fight, you instigate the fight, you think you get your licks in, but then as soon as you realize you're in trouble, you run home to your big brother or your mommy, and you say, protect me, boo-hoo. And in dude world, that's bitch-like behavior. I don't know what the similar language and lingo would be in the female world, and I'm just, maybe Michelle, what would you call that? But I'm just saying,
no, I think you are right. It's bitch behavior. You can call it catty behavior.
Well, can we just agree real quick, just nomenclature wise, can we agree that the word bitch means something different in guy world than in woman world? They mean two completely different things, and I just can't think of a word that fits that.
Well, hey, John, you're all right, because women themselves, we call ourselves bitches, especially.
That's different.
Especially I know, but we'll talk about when you go through the change or once a month. Hey, I'm a bitch. That's okay. So you're fine using that word. I think
but I think it has to be explained that it doesn't mean the same thing.
I think it's fine if Michelle uses that word, not necessarily if we do.
No, I agree. I honestly think they mean two different things in the different
Exactly.
spheres of society. And I just think it's fine discussing that. But yeah, like, so when a bully bullies someone and then runs away and then like gets their mom or someone to protect them and then plays the victim when they were the one that drives me insane. And and very predictably, that's what happened. I rolled my eyes and said, this is predictable. And I let it go and it didn't bother me when it was just Alyssa Thomas's interview. But the follow-up action from the league is what really made me like, I'm done with the league. So before we get to that, do you guys have any other comments you want to say about the Alyssa Thomas?
I do. What I want to say, what upset me about Alyssa Thomas, her teammates, Coach Tibbetts, was the lack of accountability and the lack of apologizing. You owed an apology to Clark, to the Fever, to the fans, and you had to take accountability. And
I
they
agree.
did not. As an organization, they did not take accountability, and that's what really bothers me.
If Alyssa
there's
Thomas
video proof. There was no need to go interview Alyssa Thomas. There is,
the media wasn't going to let it go without asking her about it, though. You knew that the media wasn't going to have a media day where she was present, and that wasn't going to be the first thing they asked because they need the drama clicks and stir the pot, right? Now, real quick, I agree with you. If AT had just said, "Hey, I really didn't mean to hit her that way. I know it looks bad, but I didn't mean for that to happen."
Exactly.
I hope she's okay. If she had said any version of those things, I could have let it go. Or, I mean, I have let it go, but I think the whole thing could have been done and over, and no one would have really, other than the hardcores that need the drama, I think the majority of people would have just let it go.
That's right.
Yes. Even if Tibbetts had come out, if Thomas even didn't, but if Tibbetts had come out and said, look, as an organization, we don't approve of that. You have talked to Alyssa Thomas and let her know that this kind of behavior and the team and this kind of behavior going forward will be is unacceptable and there will be punishment.
Yeah. I need to hear accountability from her. I need someone in this world to show accountability when they make a mistake. When my daughter makes a mistake, I always tell her, like, if you just own it, I'm not going to even punish you probably. I'll say, you know what? You learned a lesson. Let's move on. Let's make it right for whoever you did the wrong to and move on with our lives. Right? But instead we got the other. Now, for the record, like, I think it has to be said, I do not agree with people threatening or saying horrible things to people. I would not do that. I'll say I think that their acting's bad, and I might use language that I disagree with what they're doing, and that's stupid or whatever, and bitch-like behavior. But I'm not going to threaten anyone. I'm not going to dox them. I'm not going to email them threats. And I do not agree with that at all.
No, I agree, John. There is no room in society, whether it's in basketball or football, in sport, athletics, entertainment. There's no room in society to threaten somebody, to attack another person's family, or friends and target them. The thing is, but Alyssa Thomas, and it's not just Caitlin Clark. There is video of you making dirty type basketball plays against other people. There's film on that.
I mean, yeah,
so
you're
if
right.
people call you
a
dirty player, I'll call her a dirty player, and I would do it to her face. I would duck. I might duck after I do it, but I would do it to her, call her that to her face.
I think we have to acknowledge there's a difference between criticism and saying someone's a dirty player and things of that, like you're terrible at basketball. Any of those things are all drastically different than I'm going to murder your family. I think we have to acknowledge there's a difference between those two. The criticism and like sports banter and all that, fine. You need to toughen up. But again, threats, like all the other stuff is across the line and not good. Now, for the record, guys, I think there is a non-zero chance that was all made up because she turned over the screenshots to Annie Constable in the Atlantic. But if somebody is threatening to murder me or my family, I'm not calling the Tipton Tribune or the Kokomo Tribune or the Elwood Call Leader. I'm calling the police. I'm calling the FBI or the authorities. So, until I see the actual screenshots and they're verified, I still question whether that's real or just a diversion.
Well, here's the thing. It could be a diversion, but I do believe you see it out there when you follow. There are people out there that are obsessed and fanatical behavior. They truly aren't fans. They're not fans. They're not fans of whoever they're following. They're not fans of whatever sport they're in. They're just obsessed, disturbed people.
Okay, but let's really break down this into categories, though.
Most of them listen to this podcast, probably.
Well, I hope so. There are fans. There are those of us that want to watch basketball.
Yes.
And enjoy the basketball. And this is kind of what Greg's alluding to. I did text you guys the other day and say, I'm so over all of the political nonsense. I'm over the activism and the dumbness. I just want to watch basketball. And if they can't just give me basketball, I'm done. And you guys know I watch a lot of games besides Fever games. I like a lot of players besides just Caitlin Clark.
And you put your money where your mouth is.
We spend money for tickets. We buy a lot of merch. We travel because we enjoy the sport. So category 1, we have fans. And I think that they can be a bit heated sometimes and they can say things that maybe are a bit cross the line, but most of it's just criticism about basketball and like, we don't like you, right? There's that group. Then you get the actors on both sides of the political spectrum. And I would say they're political extremists that see an opportunity to either push all white people are racist agenda. Let's hate on white people. There's that side of it.
Yes.
Then you have the extremists. They're all like, look how bad black people are. They're the worst in society. And they both grab the side or the part of this that they want to try and use for whatever. And they just throw gasoline on the fire, and it has nothing to do with basketball. And I want those people to go away. Now,
with all of us now stuck in the fire who are in the middle.
The ones that are just fans, then like we're watching people we care about have to deal with nonsense, and I don't even know a word other than like the nonsense. And I think it's hateful nonsense on both sides. I do get very tired of if you're white and like Caitlin Clark, you are clearly a KKK Klan member, right? I get very tired of that. It's a tiresome narrative. But I also get tired of people using Caitlin as the great white hope and saying, see how you guys, she's so much better than you and blah, blah. Like, I get tired of all of that. And I get tired of the, all black women are violent and horrible and all lesbians are terrible. Like all of that, not like all those things. I hate hearing it. It's like people just want to live and I just want to watch basketball. So the rest of you just shut up. And so that's why when Kathy came out with her statement, or the league office came out with their statement that was all like, we denounce blah, 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 blah. Like, I agree with what they're saying. I agree with the overall point, but the way they did it just was, no one acknowledged that Caitlin's been injured multiple times because of stuff like this. It's not unreasonable to suspend Alyssa Thomas because she's got a track record of injuring Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, and I don't even remember who else. There was a highlight reel of
Nafisha Collier in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, Nafisha Collier. Yeah, there was just a reel of it, a highlight reel of injuries. You can't sit there and play the victim when that's you, right? The league taking this social justice stance and like hardcore going in that direction again. We've already said like multiple things can be true that I didn't like their response, but I also agree that I don't want hateful nonsense, right? The league's response was just tiresome. And it's like, good Lord, guys, can we focus on, can you like, well, and then they were asking other people to quiet it down and turn the temperature down while they were stoking the flames. Like the same people who were stoking the flames say, can't we just turn the temperature down? I'm like, you're lying. You don't want. So that was all. I'm so tired of all of that.
Going to take a quick break, and we will be right back with more of John's thoughts on the WNBA and the Fever.
So today, Caitlin comes out. First time we've seen her since the whole thing, and she has her statement was so good. She didn't back down from it being a flagrant. She was like, it was clearly a flagrant. I would like the refs to do a better job. I would like it to be more even. Pay them more, let that be their only job so they can focus on it. That's fair. Look, this is why I think Caitlin's one of the best media trained people in the world. She even says, I'm annoyed with the refs. The refs have not done a great job all season. I'm human and it makes me mad, right? That's a big problem people have with her. And she says, but let's fix it up and make their job, pay them so they can focus on it. I don't know. I just thought she did really good. And I thought Sophie had a really good comment today, too. She's like, look, the internet's the internet. You're going to have to deal with it if you're in the public space. So deal with it, which I thought was fair.
You said, and I thought Caitlin's response and how she handled it was really well. And I thought it was great job by the Fever to give her that break. And I know a lot of people were upset with Stephanie White and what she said, but I'm going to do this with Stephanie White a little bit. I'm going to play a little devil's advocate. You have to remember, Alyssa Thomas was one of her players in Connecticut. Okay. And as a coach, she's also sees a difference. I know she was upset. She does not agree with Alyssa Thomas's actions. But as a coach, she's also seen something off the court that maybe we haven't seen. And she's right. She's just trying to do that. She's not on, and that's what she said. That's what I liked. Her first thing was, you know what? I'm not on social media. Maybe I am privileged and whatever. She said, but I'm not on social media because I don't have to be. She said, now I know for some of these players, it was their brand. And so it's a big thing. So they're on there. I think she would prefer it if they all just stayed off social
Well, that's fair.
Media.
And I hear your point, but here's where Stephanie's message fell flat for me. I agreed with what she was saying. I agreed with her overall message, but she didn't. She mentioned AT. She mentioned all the stuff she didn't like. She didn't say anything about Caitlin at all. Like, say something about your player. Say, I really don't like what happened to Caitlin. I really, like, stand up for Caitlin. At least mention it.
Right. But you know what? Stephanie's also to the point that if she'd given Caitlin a break and they hadn't talked much, and maybe they had talked, and Caitlin wanted to speak for herself.
Maybe, but I'm just saying it fell flat to me. It looked like she was I've seen so much passion from her on that one, and we've only seen one passionate moment where she stood up for Caitlin. So, yes, I agree.
She stood. Maybe not, but I don't think Stephanie White is not necessarily vocal in public. They don't realize the Fever have sent a lot of tape and a lot of documentation from the treatment to the WNBA league office.
Well, I'm just saying that her message fell a little flat for me after and maybe it was because I was in a bad mood from the league message also. I mean, that could have been part of it, but
I'll be honest with you too. I think she didn't want to have. I think she's tired of dealing with it and answering
it. Well, yeah, but that's the job you took when you take it.
Because the league won't. I mean, they release a letter. They don't do a press conference. No coach. The coaches shouldn't have to. Stephanie White should not have to address the threat and beyond that because all Catbirds done is released a letter and never really totally addressed the issue.
When you take the job to be the coach of the Indiana Fever, when Caitlin Clark is on the team, you knew the job you were taking when you took it. So,
but here's the thing: Caitlin wants to be coached. Caitlin has said she wants to be coached, and she wants to be coached tough because she knows it will make her better.
If you didn't like her when we picked her, if there's something about you said she's not going to fit with this team and her personality is going to clash, like you will be, if you don't fall in love with her after that video, then I don't know what to tell you. Like, I love Raven anyway, but that video, like, my heart just melted. So
this entire podcast has already fallen in love with her.
I was happy with her. She was one of two players I mentioned that I thought could fit in with the Fever and fit right in and everything. And she's been everything and more, I think.
I don't and this is pure speculation, right? Watching the draft, when the draft happened, I felt like she didn't look thrilled that she got picked by the Fever. I could be wrong, but it looked like maybe she had some preconceived ideas of what she was going to be going into. But even if that's true, I think that she has moved way past that, and she is now part of the girl squad.
And big trip out west for the next week. 4 games in 7 days, as John mentioned. No Caitlin Clark tonight. Be interesting to see what happens there. They need some wins.
Yeah, I think that they have a pretty good shot. Road trips are always difficult, right? But even if Caitlin doesn't play all of them, I think she hopefully plays a couple. But the team's shown they can play pretty well and come together without her. I'm not saying that they're better without her.
No,
so people, trolls in the comments, don't think that I'm saying the team's better without her, but I think that they can do well without her.
Vegas twice, and of course Phoenix on Thursday.
I will just say this. Hey, John, I know Asia Wilson missed the Commissioner's Cup, and I was trying to see why she was out. I was just curious. Because I was just thinking, because if she's not playing and Caitlin doesn't play, that's too
day-to-day with an ankle injury.
Thank you.
So we might not get Asia Wilson either. So interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I actually had thought about going to the All-Star game since it's in Chicago. After last week, I canceled those plans. So I'm really not that worried about it. Like, whatever happens is fine. Like, it's cool that we have 3 starters. I think that's awesome. I do think that we need to recognize that I have to give Angel Reese credit for saying something actually smart. She was talking about how the Dream had 0 starters on the All-Star team. And she said, we just needed our fans to rally more around our team, and we didn't do it. So it is what it is. That was a mature response, and it's a very honest and real response. So
it is. I will say this, that report that I sent you guys on our text. I said I couldn't believe some of the player rankings. And then when I saw the story where half the players did not even vote and that the Sparks players didn't even get the ballot, and I'm sitting there going, okay, this shows just how inept the WNBA is, because how do you not, in this day and age with technology and the resources they have, even through the NBA office, to not get a ballot to every player and to make sure they know when they need to submit it back?
Well, I think we've already agreed that the WNBA head office is terrible. And I think the players' union is also terrible. So realistically, everyone that has an administrative job in the league is awful. But the play is fun to watch at times.
Yeah, the thing is, there's a path forward for success for this league, and they're just blowing it.
Yeah, We'll see if they can figure it out, but my hopes are not good.
And it's really sad because you have Caitlin Clark, you have Aisha Wilson out there. I mean, Aaliyah Boston is a fan favorite. You have a Kelsey Mitchell, and you have Brianna Stewart. You have Sabrina Ionescu, and you have stars out there. And you've got them new ones like Olivia Miles, and I think Raven Johnson can be that. And then coming through up in the next couple of years, and a Juju Watkins and Hannah Hidalgo and players like that. If the league can't get its act together, it's all going to be for naught, because at some point fans are going to be tired, and they're going to be like you were earlier this week, John, and say you're over it, and they're just going to stop purchasing tickets.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll keep our season tickets next year. It's up in the air. It's been fun, but like, it's exhausting. If I'm spending that much money on something, I want to just enjoy it and have it be like an escape from stress, not a stressor.
John makes a very good point there. I hope the WNBA is listening. Thanks so much to John and Michelle for joining me as always. Thank you for listening. We will be back tonight, Sunday night, after the Fever Aces game to wrap that one up so you don't have to wait very long. Thanks so much for listening, and please tell a friend about the Fever Report. Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media. And I love Susie. I had to wait for the time.